When it comes to weeds in your garden, I think a lot of you understand that they're not good for your garden. But I actually had a question come into my inbox that prompted this video, and it was, why are weeds bad for my garden? And are they bad just for one reason, or like, why are weeds so bad in the garden? And I thought, that's kind of a very interesting topic that I think I'd love to cover. Plus, I had our giving garden here that needs a little bit of love. The heat, the humidity has just absolutely kept us out of the garden. It has been brutal lately. And the pests, the squash bugs have kind of taken over the squash plants, and things are kind of looking a little bit, ugh. So I gotta make them look a little bit, yeah, so that I don't let you down on giving produce. So far, by the way, quick update, we have, I donated about 30 pounds of zucchini already from our zucchini plants, and then I donated about 40 heads of broccoli to our local soup kitchen. So pretty awesome so far, but I want that to keep going. So I need to get these weeds down. Now that the weather is finally broke, it's not quite as hot, I can get in here and I can actually make stuff look beautiful by knocking these weeds down. So I figured, why not talk about the different reasons why weeds are just not great for your garden. The first reason is probably the most obvious reason, and it's the one that I think a lot of you default to, which is that weeds steal nutrients. And that's absolutely true. You know, weeds are biologically geared to be faster growing, more vigorous, and they tend to outcompete your more domesticated vegetables. Now, that is definitely a problem because, you know, nutrients, they're critical for growth. And when the weeds are taking up more of those nutrients than the vegetables are, that's where you start getting things like nitrogen deficiencies. Not as much, phosphorus is sometimes deficient, but nitrogen more than anything, because these weeds just grow super fast. The weeds are typically broken down into two different classifications. It is a broad-leafed weed or a grass. And so the broad-leafed weeds, they are like lamb's quarter, for instance, or dandelions. And then you have grasses, so you could have like sawgrass, fescue grass, Kentucky bluegrass. There's so many different grass types, obviously, but there's two main classifications. And then from there, they're broken down into sub-classifications of two different types of plants known as communal weeds or territorial weeds. Now, territorial weeds are pretty self-explanatory. They're very territorial. Grasses are fairly territorial. You'll get one big clump of grass, and from that crown it will grow out and basically kind of smother out the area. Lamb's quarters can tend to be fairly territorial. They really just put out a ton of foliage, and they are one singular plant, basically. And then a communal plant could be something like sow thistle or Canada thistle. There's also several other communal weeds that can grow, and basically they grow in clusters and clumps. And that makes them rather difficult because you're not tackling just one weed, you're tackling a whole community of weeds that are connected and interconnected by their root system. And so when you have such vigorous, fast-growing weeds, regardless if they're communal or territorial, they tend to steal the nutrients from all that leafy green growth from your vegetables, which is obviously a problem. The second reason why weeds are so bad has to do with water consumption. Now, weeds, they don't necessarily need more water. They're actually more or less, they're actually adapted to do better with little water. They're very drought tolerant. But here's where they become really competitive for water, and that's in their root system. You see, the root system, the reason why they compete so well for water is because their roots are often very shallow and aggressive and fibrous. They create more of a mat. So if you have like your tomato plant or these pepper plants here, the roots want to go down, and they tend to be more fibrous. They have a tap root, and from those tap roots it spreads off, and then it gets a little bit more wiry and a little bit more wiry yet, and they tend to spread, but the roots go deep. A lot of your weeds, they grow super fast because they grow in an area known as the rhizosphere. This is like a really important part to your garden, and it's actually what makes your garden grow. The rhizosphere is accountable for about 90% of the nutrients and the beneficial bacteria and fungi in your garden, 90%. And that's only about the top 2 to 4 inches of soil. And so when you have a root system that is really matty, really mats, think like grass, it just instantly sends roots out. What that does is it actually creates a barrier where the plants, they need to get their roots down. And they get their roots down. The problem is the water comes from above. And since the water comes from above in the form of rain or irrigation or whatever, the weeds basically catch that rain before your plants have a chance to. And so it's almost like you needing a drink of water and someone's pouring a cup of water and then someone just sticks a bucket right above your head and just says, yep, I'm gonna take that. The weeds can outcompete, and not only will they take up that water, but the thick matted roots actually prevent the water from penetrating deeper into the soil, causing your plants to not only be nutrient deficient because they're taking up that rhizosphere, right? That's where most of the nutrients are. That ties into the first part. But then they also tap into the water. That's simply why if you have even a small amount of weed pressure in your garden, yields can be decreased 50 to 75%, or even more in some cases, if it doesn't outright kill the plant entirely. Because weeds they're biologically geared to simply outcompete at every angle. And when you have something domesticated like this tomato here, it just simply cannot compete against the heavy fibrous root system of most weeds. Now, I know you're gonna probably say, well, I thought weeds like dandelions had really deep taproots. That's true, they do. They have very deep taproots, but they also have a tendency to send out fibrous roots as well from that main taproot, and they really envelop a large area. They lay very flat on the ground, so they can kind of almost, they're kind of territorial in that nature. They kind of have a tendency to take up an area, and then they bring up minerals from down below. And dandelions are not really a super aggressive weed that I'm really worried about. What I'm more worried about are the other weeds, grasses, lamb's quarter, smartweed. There's lamb's quarter. We also have smartweed here. Ragweed is another one that just grows so fast and aggressively. But your grasses are definitely probably the fastest growing. They have the most fibrous root system, the shallowest root system, but they're the most adapted to just growing in just about any weather condition imaginable. And so you have a case where they take the nutrients and then they stop the water. Basically, essentially, you're essentially laying siege to your plants. Any resource they might need is being taken up first by the more aggressive growing weeds. And a quick little fun fact here. A lot of you ask what I'm using every time I show this in videos. What is that? This is known as a stirrup hoe or a push-pull hoe. Gets its name pretty simple because it looks like a stirrup. Looks like a stirrup if you're riding a horse, but it gets its name from a hoe that you push and pull. You push it and you pull it, and it's got a cutting blade on both sides, allowing you to slice through the soil, either pulling up or just outright cutting the weeds off at soil level, which can be very effective, but it's obviously a good workout. But that's what I'm using, is a push-pull hoe or a stirrup hoe. Now, the third reason why weeds are not great for your plants is they actually shade plants. Because they grow so fast, because they get so tall so quickly, they can often shade that sunlight from your lower plants. Take, for example, our cucumbers, or take, for example, young pepper plants. This lamb's quarter is already growing up 2.5, 3 feet tall, well above the peppers. So if I can take that weed down, that biomass is no longer shading my peppers. No longer is it taking the nutrients, no longer is it taking the water, but most importantly, it's not shading your plants, because your plants need sunlight to photosynthesize, and these plants, the weeds, they just grow so much faster and so much more aggressively that the amount of sunlight and sun exposure your plants get is dramatically decreased, and that further decreases their growth rate. If you were able to almost compete with the weeds and grow at the same rate, things would be fine. But because the weeds just grow so much faster, you have that competition for sunlight that just simply does not give them a fair fighting chance. And so sunlight is definitely a really big concern, but it's also even bigger concern with the lower to the ground weeds. Your cucumbers, your squash, even small things like your cabbage, radishes, tomatoes, they get up and growing pretty fast, but even these peppers, they get up and growing fairly fast. But a weed like lamb's quarter or Canada thistle, sow thistle, I mean, even milk thistle, I mean, the weeds they'll get up 2 to 3 feet tall in 5 times less time. In 1 month, they'll be that tall, but it takes the whole season for your peppers to get that tall or your tomatoes to get that tall. So definitely a huge component to why they are not good for your garden is sunlight prevention. And one of the final reasons why weeds tend to be not great for your plants, and this is one that a lot of people don't talk about. Weeds spread disease. Weeds spread disease. They absolutely spread disease. And how they spread disease is a couple ways. One, when they grow up incredibly dense, they block airflow. Because they have all that foliage blocks airflow. They also are very uniquely adapted to capturing moisture in the air. That's why in the early morning, weeds will be very wet with dew. The leaves will be incredibly wet and damp, causing moisture to be staying around the leaves on your plants. Well, tomatoes, peppers, zucchini, cucumbers, you name it. There's not many plants that really enjoy having a lot of moisture near the leaves, and that can cause blight and powdery mildew. So, got some yellow leaves on tomatoes. We're going to clean up the bottoms of our tomatoes because that lack of airflow can cause things like your powdery mildew and your blights. But it also causes disease from a couple other reasons. When you have the weeds growing up incredibly close to your plants, what happens is soil, actually, believe it or not, a lot of soil has soil-borne bacteria and soil-borne diseases. Like powdery mildew comes from the soil, blight comes from the soil. Well, that soil, because the plants are growing up and the weeds are growing up, that soil does not really wash off the leaves as much. And so any splashing that occurred, any soil that that might blow onto them, it stays on because it can't really get washed off effectively. The weeds essentially hold it close to the plant. And because it can't get good airflow and get washed off properly, that soil that contains the bacteria and the fungi that can spread disease ends up sitting on the plants longer. And then once the plants get stressed, that causes them to then contract some of those diseases. And the final way that some of your weeds can actually cause disease is through the pests that they attract. So when you have a plant like this tomato plant that it's stressed, now this one's happened to be growing just fine, but let's say it was stressed. If it was stressed, a stressed plant sends out a stress pheromone. And that stress pheromone basically sends a signal to all the other pests in the area saying, hey, I've got a stressed plant, come take a look. So whether that is squash vine borer, whether that is squash bugs, whether that is tomato hornworm, whether that is aphids, whitefly, spider mites, they will hone in on those stressed plants. And those stressed plants can actually bring in pests that then cause disease. So the aphids, when the aphids feed on your plants, they drop a substance called honeydew. And that honeydew can spread gray and black mold. And they can also spread another mold called sooty mold or sooty mildew. And so that sooty mildew, gray mold, it sits on the leaves and it causes disease. Leafhopper comes in and can actually bite your tomato leaf, causing curly top virus. It's a transmitted disease through the leafhopper. Your whitefly, your spider mites, they feed on the plant, and that further stresses the issue, causing the potential for disease. So weeds, they don't just steal nitrogen. They affect every facet and every aspect of a plant's life. And that's why it's so critical for us to get out here. And that's also why I prefer raised beds. I know a lot of you are going to say, Luke, I grow in ground and I don't have many weeds. Good for you. I don't know where our weeds keep coming from, but we can till this till the cows come home. And we can also till it and then throw wood chips on top, and we'll still get weeds. We're just it's a very weedy area. And for whatever reason, you know, suppression of the weeds, at least organically, is something that we just have to put up with. And we fertilize. We may over-fertilize, actually. We may fertilize a little more than we would normally, simply because we know we're gonna have some weed pressure. That's something you can do. But another really great thing is raised beds. Now, it's not to say you're not gonna get weeds in raised beds, but a lot of you ask why I like raised beds so much, and it's because the soil stays uncompacted. You know, we're walking on essentially our bed of soil. So the soil stays uncompacted. But also, the soil warms up sooner in the spring, allowing us to put seedlings in, and those seedlings can grow fast. And if there is any weed pressure, hopefully in a high intensity garden, the leaves are essentially shading the soil, blocking out the weeds. That's why in our broccoli and our zucchini patch, we hardly have any weed pressure at all, because the leaves are smothering those weeds so effectively. Compare that to where we have some gaps with our peppers, or in between some of these tomatoes here that haven't fully filled out yet. We need to continue to weed until the plants get big enough to where it shades, and then we won't hardly have any weed pressure at all, because the weeds will be the ones losing out on the sunlight, the water, the fertilizer from these more established plants. But that's what raised beds gives you. Raised beds give you that advantage as well, of being able to plant sooner, having non-compacted soil so the plants can grow faster. You can amend the soil how you want, usually yielding less weeds. And also, because the soil is less compacted, it makes weeding a whole lot easier, and makes it, you know, just a little bit more efficient to weed your garden. Because as soon as you give them a foothold, they will take that foothold and run with it. And so, you know, in summary, weeds, I know a weed is just an unwanted plant, right? There's lots of you that are gonna say, Luke, that lamb's quarter is a resource. Like, you know, this lamb's quarter, I can't believe you're not eating it. I can't believe you're not just enjoying that, because it's you know, that's a weed, that's an edible weed, rather than all these domesticated plants. And to that I would say, look it, I eat plenty of lamb's quarter, but I also want to grow other things. If I just let lamb's quarter take over, I'm not, you know, I'm not a cow. I'm not going to graze on just one plant my entire life. I want to grow tomatoes. I want to grow peppers. I know a lot of you are the same way. You want to grow zucchini and beans and broccoli and melons and cucumbers. You want to have a beautiful garden full of vegetables. And I get that lamb's quarter is a weed that tends to grow, but look, it's a weed, and it outcompetes the other stuff that I want to be growing. And so, you know, it's so important that we keep those weeds down, help our garden to actually compete. And I think a lot of people just kind of presume that weeds are, like I said, just one bad thing. They're only bad for one reason, and that's like the nutrients or the competition, but no one really knows what that competition is. So hopefully this kind of shines some light on why weeds are so aggressive, and maybe some steps that you can take to mitigate them. And the final thing I'd say is stay up on it. Stay up on weeding. You know, a lot of people, they weed their garden the first time, looks great. And then when the heat and the humidity comes, you get tired and you get exhausted. And then that's where you let your guard down. And that is the most common time when weeds take over the garden, is when you let your guard down. When it's hot and it's humid, and you tell yourself you don't want to be out there. Go out early in the morning, go out late at night, do what you have to do to keep those weeds down. Do what you have to do, because I'll tell you what, the dividends of keeping a weed-free garden, or a mostly weed-free garden, are incredible. You will never be disappointed by keeping your garden a little bit more weed-free. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all learned something new. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel, reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership, because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free, and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.